In Pennsylvania, a disgusting man has been nominated by Republicans to potentially be the next governor of Pennsylvania. And sadly, it is a man named Doug Mastriano who, if given the opportunity in 2024 to steal Pennsylvania for the eventual Republican presidential nominee, he would do it. There are two choices in Pennsylvania for governor. There's Doug Mastriano, who is a big lie promulgator and a guy who would do all the things Trump wanted governors to do for him in 2020. And then you've got Democratic nominee Josh Shapiro. There's not that much to say about Josh Shapiro. He's a completely standard milquetoast, and I don't say that in a pejorative. He's just a normal Democrat who wouldn't do anything crazy. He wouldn't try to steal an election. And that's pretty damn good right now because of what the Republican Party has become. And now to add on to the absurdity of Doug Mastriano, it turns out that Doug Mastriano once donned a Confederate uniform while he was in the military. And as a result, more and more Republicans are endorsing his Democratic opponent, Josh Shapiro. Business Insider reports 7 more Republican leaders endorsed Democrat Josh Shapiro for Pennsylvania governor following news of Mastriano wearing a Confederate military uniform. 7 more Republicans have announced their endorsement for Democrat Josh Shapiro 1 month after 9 Republicans called his Republican opponent, Doug Mastriano, an extremist. A photo obtained by Reuters showed Mastriano posing in a Confederate military uniform. This is the picture which we're putting up on the screen for you here, and it is completely vile. This is a picture from 2014. It was taken while then State Senator Doug Mastriano was part of the faculty at the U.S. Army War College. Faculty members were permitted to pose for the photo while dressed as historical figures, and Mastriano chose a Confederate uniform, and now is losing the support of at least a number of Republicans. So, we can talk all day about the Confederate uniform. We can say, well, it is a historical reality that there were Confederate soldiers. And so it's not necessarily reflective of his right. I'm an idiot. I sound like an idiot when I try to say this. OK, the fact that he is wearing the uniform alone doesn't mean Doug Mastriano wishes we could bring back the enslaving of black people. I'm not saying that. But this is all part of a picture, right? This is all part of the bigger picture about Doug Mastriano and who he is. Big lie, conspiracy theorist, unhinged, number one. Secondly, has this campaign advisor who is overtly as anti-Semitic as anyone I've ever heard of, short of, right? I mean, World War II era German leaders, said that Jews don't even have a place in the Republican Party, even if they're conservative. Disgusting, right? And then Mastriano wears a Confederate uniform. So we're building up a picture that is based on a number of different pillars, and they're all disgusting, rotting pillars covered in pond scum. So it would be great, on the one hand, if the more moderate establishment Republicans jump ship from these disgusting MAGA people. That's a good thing because we want the MAGA people to lose. On the other hand, if it goes too far, those very moderate Republicans might end up running as Democrats, and it could end up moving the Democratic Party to the right, which we also don't want. We want the Democratic Party moving to the left. And so that's a consideration, and that's a concern as well. But it's really important, really important. I mean, Pennsylvania is one of the most important states. I'm not saying some states don't matter, but, Wyoming, even though Liz Cheney lost her primary, that's going to be a Republican member of Congress either way. Wyoming is not going to be the difference maker over the next 2 years in the United States. On the other hand, look at Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is a state on which control of the Senate could hinge, meaning that the Oz versus Fetterman race is extraordinarily important. And Pennsylvania is a state on which the 2024 presidential election could hinge. and thus having a governor in Pennsylvania who won't try to steal the state's electors for the candidate that didn't win, that's an important thing. And so that's why we need Josh Shapiro to be the next governor of Pennsylvania, not Doug Mastriano, who is just absolutely and completely vile. So if you live in Pennsylvania, of course, you should vote in both of those elections. But no matter where you live, you can phone bank and you can donate in those two races. And they are very, very important races. Just Mastriano is disgusting. He's really the worst of MAGAT politics. And hopefully we can defeat him in November and then he just goes away. Today is the David Pakman Show member town hall. The day has finally come, Wednesday, August 31st, unless you're listening to this on a different day. Wednesday, August 31st is today at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. We will be doing a member town hall. It will be broadcast for all to see on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. But for this particular one, the participants will be our members at joinpakman.com. And you can sign up right up until the start of the town hall at joinpakman.com so that you can participate today.